A plea for the Roma nation. When I was asked to contribute to an article on the subject of solidarity, the Ukraine war had not yet broken out. Solidarity among Roma and Sinti is difficult because solidarity ends with the extended family. Furthermore, it is only a few Roma and Sinti activists who show solidarity across groups and families' boundaries. The example of the current Ukraine war shows that there are no qualified and legitimate representatives at the international level who are committed to the concerns of the Roma and Sinti, without their own interests. That's why a rethink is necessary. Roma have no lobby and no resources. This needs to change. New structures and associations are needed to create something new. For decades, I have built association structures and thus supported a solidarity Roma community. 1990, the Euroternet. 1993, the Roma National Congress. 1996, the East meets West Roma Youth Network. 2003, the European Center for Research on Anti-Zyganism. 2005, the European Roma and Travelers Forum. And since 2011, the Educational Association of the Roma in Hamburg. And since 2016, the idea of the Roma nation, which was implemented in 2021, because it could then be realized technically and independently. The attempt to establish the European Roma and Travelers Forum, ERTF.org, as a parliament of the Roma in the Council of Europe have been reduced to absurdity. This development also ensured that the international Roma associations ended in insignificance and are virtually non-existent. Today, a part of the International Romani Union, which miraculously doubled and sometimes even tripled with its presidents. That's why the Roma Nation Org initiative has been around for a short time. The aim of this initiative is to give a person a voice in a direct online democracy system. The Roma Nation was founded on May 16, 2021 as an association in Hamburg. The war in Ukraine forced us, a Roma nation, to come forward earlier than planned. It turned out again, the only international organizations are interested in our photos and meetings with the powerful, who are only smile at them. The Roma nation, on the other hand, as the coming representative of the people, has made clear demands to the international community. First, European institutions and member states of the European Union must ensure access for fleeing Roma to neighboring countries such as Poland, the Republic of Slovakia, and Romania. Second, it must be ensured that the Ukraine authorities allow Roma to flee as other Ukrainians are allowed to do. Third, member states of the European Union are required to comply with international refugee law and allow people fleeing a country at war to enter EU countries and to apply for asylum in countries with other family members. Fourth, pressure must be put on the Ukraine authorities to allow the Roma to flee and move safely inside the country, as other people in Ukraine can do. Fifth, ensure that humanitarian organizations and volunteers treat Roma people seeking help with the same dignity as other refugees. The same protocols and support measures must be applied to Roma as to refugees with lighter skin color and typical Ukrainian surnames. Sixth, make sure that undocumented Roma refugees from Ukraine are not forgotten in Moldova. It is about us, as people and their representatives, making clear and realistic demands that can also be met. This shows the seriousness of the RomaNation.org. When setting up the structure of the Roma Nation, the following points were relevant: financial independence, political independence from Gazi, one person, one vote, direct online democracy, election of all representatives. The attempt to build up the Roma Nation is planned for 10 years. If after 10 years there is no democratic system with a separation of powers and the rule of law, the project will be buried. The founded Roma Nation registered organization, no matter what will happen, whether successful or not, will be dissolved on May 16, 2032. There are several things to consider when building a nation. We have had the nation symbol, the flag, and the national anthem since the first Congress of the International Romani Union in London in 1971. However, this is not enough. The common language is a project, even if differ dialectically. What else does a nation need? A personal and a shared positive history. Check out romahistory.com. This is needed. However, this raises the issue of anti-Tsiganism, of anti-Gypsyism, about which European Roma know even less than the majority population. So education about anti-Tsiganism and anti-Gypsyism is also a part of it, in order to, without the argument of the anti-Tsiganism with the majority society, inclusion of the Roma people is not possible. Without understanding how anti-Tsiganism, anti-Gypsyism works, Roma cannot defend themselves against this form of hate. An elementary part of this Roma nation is the catalogue of demands, the Charter of the Rights of the Roma, which was democratically drawn up in the European Roma and Travelers Forum. It also necessary to build and strengthen a positive Roma identity. To do this, however, we must recognize and avoid our own anti-Tsiganism or anti-Gypsyism. Even without Roma, there are rope teams and cliques. Therefore, a new structure must be democratic, transparent, and open to new ideas and talents. Quality and expertise must prevail with us so that the image of the Roma as an exotic, uneducated, and only musicians as cliches of Gazi against Roma no longer dominate the main elements of broad public perception. This is what the Roma nation will be based on. We will elect our most capable people and minds into transparent and democratic structures.